Hey guys, so welcome back to my channel. If you haven't seen my last 3 videos, it's a part 3 video. But if you haven't seen it, it is about how I became a submissive, and my submissive DS relationship is dominant submissive relationship, basically, with this guy, this older guy, when I was about 17. If you guys haven't seen it, please watch it. Why I mention that is because he is pretty much what I'm gonna talk about today, and this video is how I had my first orgasm and how I found out that I was a squirter. Yes, so let's get into it. Let me get my cigarette, let me get my lighter, and let's do this story time. So let me tell you, right? So if you haven't seen any of my videos about this guy, so he's an older guy, and he was into the whole BDSM thing or whatever, and you know, I became a sub, and we kind of had a TPE. I never mentioned it in the previous videos, but it was a TPE type of relationship. It's TPE is total power exchange. Basically, it's just when you give up control as a submissive to your dominant, and that's what he basically did. He basically, you know, told me what to eat, told me what to wear. I had to text him first thing when I got up, and he was the last person that I texted before I went to bed. He gave me a bedtime. He reminded me about drinking water, reminded me of doing my homework, things like that. So we only had it for about like a couple of months. I don't remember how long, but it wasn't that long. And then we ended up separating. But during this time, you know, we had sex in his car the first time, and one day he picked me up, and he was like, hey, I'm gonna get a hotel for us, and we're just gonna hang out and chill in the hotel instead of just in my car. So I said, okay, great. So we went to a hotel, and we ended up having sex. He was like eating me out, and I was so enjoying it so much. Like, he was so good. I was like, oh my god, this is amazing. Like, having sex with an older guy that knows what he's doing, best thing ever. So anyway, we ended up, you know, having sex, and he was eating me out, and all of a sudden I felt like this pressure like going, and I was like, oh my god, it's so amazing, oh my god. And then a huge release, and I was like, oh my gosh. And then stuff started gushing out of me, and I was so freaking embarrassed. I was like, oh my gosh. I was like amazed. I was like, oh my god, like, that was like so good. But then I was just like, what the fuck just happened? Did I just pee my pants? Well, not my pants, but did I just pee the bed? And I ended up kind of getting really embarrassed, and I was like, oh my god, I'm so, like, I was apologizing. I was like, oh my god, I'm so sorry. And he started laughing. He was like, what are you apologizing for? That was amazing. And I was just like, what do you mean? I just peed on you. And he started laughing, and he kind of educated me. He was like, no, that's called squirting. You had an orgasm, and it was amazing. And I'm so honored that I gave you that orgasm, and it seems like this is your first one. And I was like, yes, I've never had this happen before, but are you sure? Because it felt like I just peed. And he was like, listen, Vanessa, if it was an orgasm, or if it was pee, whatever the fuck it was, I drank that shit up. It was delicious, and I am honored that I did that to you. And I was just like, oh my God, like I was apologizing. He's like, don't apologize. That is natural and it's a beautiful thing. And he made me feel so amazing. Amazing. I never felt like this. I was like, I'm such a shy person. So when that thing happened, I was just like, oh my God, like he's gonna think I'm disgusting and he never wants to see me again. But he enjoyed it, and I found out I was a squirter. And I was just so happy. I was like, yes. Like, but he made me feel amazing. And I'm so glad that my first time squirting was with him, because I would have been so embarrassed with anyone else. I was still embarrassed, but I don't think anyone else would have, you know, kind of made me like that. And I was just like, in my head, I'm like, oh, he is kinky, so maybe he likes piss or something. But honestly, after that, I never not squirted. I always squirt now. I'm a squirter, but I'm still embarrassed. Because if you haven't seen my other video, me and him ended up breaking up, and we never I was looking for more people. But while I was doing that, I was also having sex with other people. And I remember this one person I had sex with, and I ended up squirting, and he was like so complete opposite of him. And he was, it was the complete opposite, honestly. The guy that I ended up squirting with again, he looked at me and was like, oh my God, did you just pee my bed? Like, and I was just like, oh, I'm sorry. And he's like, oh, that's disgusting. Like, why did you just pee my bed? Like, oh my God. And I have to sleep on this. I have to change the sheets. Like, all of this shit to me. And I was so embarrassed, and I was so disgusted. He didn't want to talk to me anymore. He was like, you gotta go. And like, he was so mad or whatever. And I was so ashamed and so sad, and so like, I was so like I don't even know how to like describe it. Like, I was just like, I knew that like this wasn't, whatever. So in my head, I'm like, oh, I guess maybe it is just a kinky thing, and maybe only certain people like it. And so I was just like, after that situation happened, I ended up not like holding back my orgasms, because when I was with him, I used to, he's like, after I squirted the first time, we ended up having sex again, and he's like, oh, what are you doing? And I'm like, oh, he realized that I was holding back, and he's like, don't ever hold back. Don't ever hold back. Release everything. And he ended up telling me a story of how like he was eating this girl out, and she ended up like farting in his face, and he did not care. He just kept going. He didn't like, she was embarrassed, but he didn't make her like have time to be embarrassed or whatever. And I tried to do that with someone else, and it kind of got ruined. So that's my story of how I found out that I was a squirter and what happened afterwards. And to this day, I don't really orgasm when I have sex, because I'm afraid that that's gonna happen to me again, and I don't want that embarrassment. So I hope you guys like this video. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell button down below, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.